Welcome to the Healers Café, the number one show for medical practitioners and holistic healers to have heart to heart conversations about their day to day lives while sharing their expertise for improving your health and wellness. Welcome to the Healers Cafe. Today I have with me Tania Ho, and she serves as an intuitive soul guide to help people find clarity and inspiration in their next steps. Through oracle readings, meditation, intuition development, cacao medicine, energy tools, and more, she guides people to bring their heart, mind, and soul back into harmony. And you're originally from Hong Kong, but now you're in Chiang Rai, Thailand, with your family. And then you have a retreat center called Muse Flower Retreat. So, well, first of all, welcome.
Thank
And
you. Thank you so much for having me here again.
and yeah, what I'd like to find out from you, what started this whole process for you?
Mm, yeah. Um, well, the whole process started, kind of have to backtrack a little bit, but I'll say it started when my dad passed away, when I was 25. And my dad had depression. And it was, a shock of family when he passed away. And to me, at that time was, working in Thailand already. And it was like, okay, life is too short to do things that I don't want to do, and but I don't know what I want to do. So I went on a retreat myself in Thailand, here in Chiang Rai, actually, to heal myself. And then after that, one thing led to another. I had this opportunity to be able to co-create a retreat center here, and that was 12 years ago. And at that time, I was not like doing anything to share anything with anyone else. I was just more like a manager, just working in the background with the operations. But more and more, I guess like it's the universe kind of give me all these opportunities, like to ask me I have to step out of my comfort zone now to share what I've learned for myself, like all these different healing tools that I've learned for myself. So I think that's almost 9 years ago, and but encouraged by my different teachers to say, definitely you can, there's something there you can share with other people that other people can benefit. And I think that began my journey. And I didn't even know what to call myself at that time. Like I didn't know what there was not like one modality that like I would like stick to. And then slowly you kind of like came to me. It was like, okay, intuitive soul guide was what I would like to call myself. And what I do is to guide people back to their heart and soul through the different modalities that I've used for myself, and that I love to share with other people.
Mhm. Yeah, interesting. You mentioned in your in the notes that you sent that you're grateful to all your teachers, and then you say they teach me both the light and shadow side of healing work. Um, could you kind of expand on that? What do you mean by the shadow side of healing work?
Oh yes, okay. So, um, there were teachers that I've learned from, and I've learned a lot of great knowledge from them. And I've learned that, and I think it's also in my own learning too, because I used to put teachers on a pedestal. Like I think like, oh, they're better than me and they're more superior than me. And then that pedestal kind of collapsed when the human side come up, and I was like, oh, actually we're all just humans. And when somebody is gifted, it doesn't actually mean that they are professional or they are ethical or they are moral. So that was kind of like a huge learning for me. And when
Mhm.
I so I mean, shadow side in terms of from when there's this human drama is playing out, I can see that too. Like, oh, it's important that whether you're a practitioner, teacher, healer, you also need to continue to work on yourself. that, yeah, and to walk your own talk. I think a lot
Right.
of people, um, and not a lot of people. I don't mean in a judgmental way, but I feel like it's just some people, they do a lot of talking, but when you see, do they really lead by example, lead by their own talk? you don't see that alignment.
Mhm.
Um, yes. So that's what I meant by shadow side. And also, um, not to say like I did learn energy healing, and but I never really get to learn like tools to help to clear my energy, protect my energy from like one modality. I feel like I picked up like from different kind of spiritual traditions. And yeah, and so I that's for me also like the shadow side of healing work is like I tried something and maybe like oh actually it didn't work, or like it actually made me sick, for example, picking up other people's energies, and then I slowly learn also for myself, okay, how I can protect my own energy, how can I can clear my energy so I don't make myself sick with other people's energies.
Interesting. Yeah. No, I think it's enlightening when you start to realize that we're all humans, you know?
Yes.
Because I think I probably was brought up in a similar way to put people on pedestals if they had skills that I found particularly, amazing, right? And I mean, as a society, we've done this in a big way in the last
Mm,
5 years, putting people in white coats on pedestals, saying, oh, they're the experts, they know everything, and we don't do our own work or our own research. And I think too that a lot of practitioners have been um, have had to ask, or if they haven't, they will shortly be asking a lot of deep questions, about, what is right about this? What are their values? What are their core values that they really feel they must uphold,
mm,
you know? Because
yes.
yeah, the shadow side is comes up, it's like I know people that, even in my own background, like
Mm,
our naturopathic doctors, they're also feeling the stress of the financial situation, and then the sort of the misunderstanding or misappropriation, that we're not, some of them don't feel like they're real doctors. So when they're
mm,
asked to go to hospitals and to do things that really are not aligned with their values, like inject people
mm,
with things they don't know what it is, you know,
right.
it's like it rubs the wrong way, but we're so confused in our society. We think, oh, we're being honored, or we think that or we just believe people, even though inside ourselves a lot of us knew that something's not right, so it's a very, anyway, that's why I picked, when you said shadow side, there's lots of that, right? When we
Yes.
actually look at all of this situation.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And definitely, I mean, that's the lessons, right? We're here to learn and to grow,
Exactly.
and
Yeah. And
that's most
keep growing
important for
yourself.
each of us to do. Yes,
Right.
exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just like, take it as, okay, this was the experience, and now what have I learned, and how can I go forward, and yeah, what kind of world am I creating, in that. So what made you, because you talk about also intuition, right? Um,
Hmm.
so what is that for you? How does that come to be?
Thank you for that question. So, for me, intuition, I felt it's a gateway actually for us to communicate with the invisible. What is invisible? So that could be, you can say, our soul, it could be the universe, it could be also just the energies of the outside world. So intuition to me, it's almost like this portal that you get to connect with this different kind of energies. And also, people call it the sixth sense, which I love because it's the only sense that you cannot lose, right? You can lose your sense of sight, you can lose your
Right.
sense of smell or taste, but intuition is a sense that you can't lose. And to me, it is, I always refer intuition also as the connection to our soul too. So when we're listening to our intuition, like, we are listening, and connecting with our soul, and our soul is that giving us this direction, right? That kind of this inner compass or this inner GPS of like where we should go. What is, what is, yeah, what is the next step for us that is most aligned to why we're here.
Mhm. And how do you train people or even your own self-practice? How can you distinguish between intuition and what we're filled in, which is all these thoughts, of which apparently 80% are negative. But how do you know it's not thoughts telling
Hmm.
you what to do as opposed to intuition?
Yes, that's a very good question. So I think there's twofold to that question. The first part is actually really understanding how your intuition communicates with yourself. So I feel like it's different for each person, and the way how I would describe it is just kind of or it's similar to how we learn. So some people are visual learners, some people are auditory learners, and so for some people, intuition comes through like an image. Um, the visualization, they're very strong that come through. For some people, it's just a feeling. It's just a sense of knowing. Some people maybe come through as a sound, like they can come through as a hearing. So, first of all, it's very important for each person to understand how your intuition communicates with you. And then the second part is they said, like, kind of, well, how do I know if that's my intuition and that's my mind talking to me? Well, first of all, if we know how intuition is talking to us, then you'll start to feel a difference or you start to sense a difference. And then the other big part of the equation is meditation. I always tell people it's so important to do meditation because when there's so many benefits in meditation, and the main thing is cultivating this awareness of your thoughts. So once you're starting to be able to observe your thoughts, you start to be able, that's when you have that awareness of like, oh yeah, this is coming from my mind, or oh yeah, okay, actually that is coming from my intuition. So there goes that practice. And I always tell people intuition is like a muscle. It's like you go work out, and the more you practice with it, it's like the more you work with this muscle, the better you get at it, knowing that, oh yeah, this is my intuition. And so it's a process.
Mhm, mhm. And do you find that that at least with the people you've worked with and in retreats and all that, that intuition that you can lose it and then gain it? Do you feel that it's I mean, you say it's a practice, so
Mm.
I guess if
Hmm.
you're not in touch with it, it tends to be lost a little bit. But can you speak a little bit more about the idea of the practice of it?
Yes. So it's very interesting. A lot of people who come to retreat and when they take the intuition development workshop that we have here, some of them say like, I'm very logical, like I'm very like rational, we're like scientific person, but often they're like the most intuitive person that you can meet. So and what I feel it's really like you said, intuition is that smaller voice. What people say like still small voice is because we've never learned in school, right, to acknowledge it or learn to use it or learn to practice with it. So that's kind of tend to become like in the background. And like you said, that all that the thoughts in the mind, like that to-do list, what I'm gonna do, all that or outer noises become that main voice that we're listening to because we're just so conditioned to do that. So it is the intuition is never lost. It's more like it's there, and then we're not paying attention to it. So when we're not paying attention to it, we just then we feel like we don't hear it or we don't see it. Um, but like I said, it's a practice because when I always feel that when people come to, let's say, our retreat, it is already their intuitions guiding them somehow that they would be there, and whether they take the workshop or not, like there is already some connection with the intuition.
Mhm,
And, whether through the intuition develop workshop or maybe in a yoga class or maybe in a meditation class, in some way they are still connecting to their intuition, whether they know it consciously or not. But of course, I think when you consciously say, I want to build this relationship with my intuition,
mhm,
then I feel like, that intention is going to make that practice more powerful. Like, because you're putting your intention and your attention in, like, oh, yes, I want to listen to my intuition.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying. I also find that at least people with busy minds, you know, that one simple way to know when intuition speaks is to occupy the mental facilities that we have by
Mm,
like write down the list of why you should do this and why you should not do this. So you've kind of spilt all of the mental jargon, right? And then
mm.
when you go to sleep, it's like you can ask, tell me something else about this. And it's almost like then you've freed your mind from figuring it out, and then you can relax, and then you receive messages. And those are very
Yeah,
different, so I found that
yeah,
to be a useful little,
yeah. That's wonderful. Yeah.
yeah, at least if you have a busy mind. I used to have a busy mind, now I don't. So anyway, I found that one useful. Another thing I wanted you to discuss a little bit, you say that you use through oracle readings. Can
Mhm.
you can you explain what that is and how that works, how you use it, just a little bit about that practice?
What would your life be like if you were pain-free? If you were one of the millions who suffer from chronic pain, the thought of just one day without it may seem impossible. This is often because conventional medicine tends to fall short in the treatment of pain, opting to prescribe pills or recommend surgery rather than getting to the root cause of the problem. But if you are suffering with emotional or physical pain, there is hope. Join the founder and CEO of Bowen College, Manon Bolliger, live online for your body-mind reboot. Learn how to listen to your symptoms and get to the root cause of your pain. Plus, be trained in basic Bowen therapy moves so that you can reboot your body for optimal health. You don't have to live in pain. You can heal. Stop the pain pill cycle by visiting www.yourbodymindreboot.com to learn more and to register.
Yes, thank you. So, I use oracle cards. So they're similar to tarot cards, but oracle cards, I find that they're much more user friendly. And because when I do my readings, it's not fortune telling prediction kind of session. So that's not what I do. It's actually a chance for the other person who's receiving the reading to tap into their intuition too. So, when they pick the card, I'll ask them, what do you see the card? What kind of thoughts and feelings coming up for you when you see the image of the card? So that's, their way of tapping into their intuition too. And so it becomes this two-way conversation. And what we usually focus on what kind of lessons we're going through with, maybe we have this change that we're going through in our life, or this challenge that we're going through. What is the lesson there? And through there to see, okay, well, what is the next step that is unfolding? So I use oracle cards. I'd also use stones and leaves as well that can use as oracle reading. And with stone and leaves, usually it's more a big picture kind of reading. We're going to see how our life is, the path of our life is unfolding through the stones and the leaves.
Hmm. So how would you do that?
Oh, with the stone and the leaves,
Yeah, but
you
like, so
mean?
you have certain stones and certain leaves, and then how does that work?
So it's a shamanic practice that I've learned, and the stones. I have my own set of stones. You can use crystal. So I use a combination of crystals and stones that I find, and usually it's 13 stones. And there's a process, but what you do is you throw the stone on a cloth, or you don't have a cloth, but like it kind of, the cloth has this kind of axis for guidance. But a lot of time, actually, all these are tools, like the cards and stones or leaves are tools to show the person the kind of the energy in a visual way. But a lot of times what you're reading is with your intuition, what you're picking up actually in the energy field, and what needs to be addressed, what needs to be said. So those are like kind of tools for, I guess, in a way, for the human mind, to like, there's something to see and there's something to like grasp on, like the mental part like needs to see something. But also it's beautiful in a way because when we see it, kind of stimulates, like this, when I see the stones, how they're laid out, or the leaves will be collected from our garden here, and then the shape of the layout and like the direction, and then from there you start to there's this information that's coming through my intuition, and that's what I say. Oh, but I'll
Mhm,
ask the other person too, like, what do you see from here? What do you feel when you did the throw, for example?
mhm, mhm. Yeah, no, I think it's interesting. I do agree that it's like an aid to the intuition of also the practitioner, you know, and it's a way of changing a little bit from just a verbal mental connection because you're
Mm,
actually seeing something, again, same with tarot cards, same with, all of that. It's like, and, yes, they stand for certain things, but, again, when they're positioned beside this or that, it means something different, right? So it's interesting. I think it allows more creativity, and in more creativity, we become more intuitive as well. I think
yes.
it it does help. So what are your retreats about? Like who comes,
Hmm.
they get like what's the
Yeah. So our retreat center here is an all-inclusive like vegetarian retreat center, and we offer yoga retreats, we offer spa holidays, and also sometimes we have some special soulful retreats. So people can come here all year round actually to come and do our yoga retreat or like our spa getaway holidays. And people from all around the world. We are based in Thailand, so we have, I would say, like half our guests are from Asia, and the other half are from like Europe and North America as well. Um, and it's for people to come here to recharge, to reconnect, because we're in nature, we're in the countryside. So to really reconnect with nature, and through this reconnection, they also have to get to reconnect with themselves. And so what we offer here is also, I think the key word is nourishment. So, for example, everything it's invitational, like in the program. So it's not a very strict program. You also can come here, it's just like stay in like a hotel, for example, and you can just do the yoga class in the morning and just relax the whole day. So everything's very flexible. Everything is invitational. You can do this, or you can do a lot if you want. You can do as little as you want when you come here. And the main idea is really just to recharge and reconnect coming here.
Okay. And people will come for like a week or it's that type or
Yeah, we have different durations. So people can, a minimum of 3 nights, usually 5 nights, 7 nights. Sometimes people they'll want to stay even longer, like 2 weeks. So that's
right.
also possible too. Yeah.
Mhm. And how in Taiwan, how or in Asia in general, if there can be a generalization, if not, then please specify. But how integrated is this in what people perceive they need? Like
Ah,
to say, oh, I need to do a 3 day or a 1 week, self-care retreat. How common is that?
how common is that? It's not very common.
Yeah,
I
okay.
think it's similar to the Western society. I think the great thing in Thailand, just for in the Thai people who are Buddhists, in their religion, they have a very big meditation component.
Mhm.
So they would, if they feel like not all Thai people, and I'm also not Thai, so I cannot, I'm speaking as an expat who lives in Thailand, that they have opportunity, they can go to a temple, and you often it's free or by donation, you can go stay at a temple and do meditation there. So which is a beautiful offering, because you can go there for free and there's food there already, and that's what you do. You can stay as long as you need to do meditation.
Right. Yeah, so that part is definitely integrated, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. And so, yeah, and I was just curious, how, because I can see I'm in Canada, there's more centers that are starting to be built, but the cost is usually very prohibitive to
Mm,
the general population. It's sort of, I mean, people will do it as an exception or they'll do it as a very special gift. but it's not integrated like for the everyday person to say, okay, now I need a little bit of a break and I need to recalibrate, or, it's not, we're not in a society that would allow for that for the most part anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. I can see that also in like Hong Kong where I'm from, or like, just big cities around in Asia also. Yeah. And you talk about that, I realized, oh, another thing that the great thing in Thailand is all the wonderful massages that are very affordable. Because when you
Right.
talk about, I was like, oh yeah, I understand. Like that's like in Thailand, that's one also, the big gift here is, you can find massages everywhere and it's very, very affordable.
Yeah, yeah. And why do you think that it has become part of what's available to people? Is it like, where did that start? Because it's not the case everywhere, right? Obviously.
Yes. Well, I think massage and because there's Thai massage, and so
Yeah.
there's that connection, and um, I think partly it's just because the country itself has such a affordable rate for, I guess, for tourists, and so I guess that's both. Like, but for local people too, they traditionally they that what I understand anyway is Thai massages will be offered in the Buddhist temples too. So you can go there. It's not like a spa, per se, but you actually can go to a temple and receive a traditional Thai massage, which is also very beautiful. It's part of that um, in a
Mm,
way like that healing, like the traditional healing
yeah.
practice too.
Yeah.
So I think it's very much embedded in that culture and the
Right.
tradition
Mm,
that I understand. Yeah.
mhm. Yeah, no, I was thinking, what's the impact of also, not just meditation, but touch, because that also changes many things, for us. It puts us
Mm.
into parasympathetic, we're in a more receiving, we're in a healing state. So yeah, I was just curious, also if you picked Thailand for a reason, or that just happened to be where you were going, or how did you?
Oh, how did I end up in Thailand? Actually, it was because of spas, because my degree, I studied hotel management, and my
Right.
focus was in spas because I always loved like natural health, like wellness. And then I was like, yeah, that is perfect, like combined with, a job, which is hospitality business. So I went into a spa management, and the job that, I got that I really felt called to
Mm,
was in Thailand for this company, for this resort. And then I was working in that resort spa for 4 years until my
mm,
dad passed away.
okay. And then you started realizing that
Yes,
you had,
my own healing journey. That's right.
right. Yeah, very interesting. Yeah. So we have just a little bit more time. Is there anything else that you wanted to share that I haven't asked you, and that you think's important for our listeners?
um, I think I do want to share that uh, a little bit about, we talk a little bit about meditation, and I think everybody knows the great benefits of meditation, but it's just like, how do I get to, I think a lot of people want to get started with meditation, but it's just like, I don't know where or
Mhm.
what, there's so many factors. And you talked about that too, like that self-care in, let's say in Canada, it's not so easy to get a massage, but meditation, you can definitely do at home. And I will say there's so many different styles of meditations out there. So if you try one, it's like, I don't know, I think like I failed in that one. I would say, please don't give up and try different styles. It's similar when I talk about intuition, that we're just different learners. And so there are different styles that will match with your learning style, and you will find one that really resonate land with you. And so it's also like a journey in a way, like finding a meditation style that lands with you. But if you can't find it, just stay, start somewhere. I would say like just start somewhere very easy for you that's manageable, because meditation really have such great benefits for our health on all levels.
Mhm. And what type of meditation do you find easier, or do you tend to recommend it when people have never done it?
Yes.
What do you suggest?
Usually like visualization type of meditation, and there's just a lot on the internet that's for free. on YouTube, on Insight Timer, the app, or like Headspace, or like there's a lot of apps. I only named the apps that I've tried. It's not like, I've tried those two apps, but I know there's tons of apps.
Yeah.
And so there's like visualization, because I think like people think meditation has to be like sitting still, like just focus on your breath, breathing, and that's one style, but that doesn't have to be. There are also a lot of movement meditation out there. So if you find that you are one who cannot sit still, there's actually a lot of movement meditation. And some people, even just going a walk, a mindful walk in nature without your devices, it can be meditative too. For some people, maybe it's just swimming, or when they're playing some kind of sport and they feel like they're just in that flow, that they're not thinking of anything else. It can be also quite meditative. It's not the same as meditation, but you're still part of, you're still experiencing that state. I feel that's important.
Yeah. I tend to relate more to the moving meditation personally.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like well, but it's conscious moving. It's not just, it's and connecting to nature. I find that yeah, meditative in and of itself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
That's perfect. Yes.
All right. Well, Tania, thank you very much for sharing your time with us. And then again, what's the name of the retreat? Because we'll probably put a link so people can find out, more
Yes.
about
the retreat. Thank you so much. So it's called Muse Flower. It's one word. Retreat and Spa. We're based in Chiang Rai, Thailand.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
This is more of a reflection, but what if Bowen therapy, even just a basic reboot, became our cultural touch therapy? Something that, like Thai massage, as per the discussion, is sort of the cultural basis of which massage is accepted and normative, and people want it, and it's accessible, and it's not, you can get it for free, you can get it for little, whatever, it's part of the culture. So I just had this vision, what if Bowen became that, at least reboot, that people would have access in families, in communities. It'd be something easy and simple to do. And, it started in Australia. So, I mean, it could be, uh, whatever, North American, um, just because it's not taught in a million languages, though it is getting more popular. But it could be really something that at least the cultures that are less inclined to touch could have the type of touch that Bowen has, which is actually very little, and it's powerful, and it sort of allows for your own space. So I think it's quite fitting. Anyway, there's a thought. Thank you for joining us at the Healers Café. If you haven't already done so, please like, comment, and subscribe with notifications on, as I post a new podcast every Wednesday with tons of useful information and tips for natural healing that you won't want to miss.